Hartville potato chips is a small batch kettle cooked chip that's made here in Akron. Our family used to own a company called OK Potato Chips, and our cousin was nice enough to give us the recipe for what was the OK potato chip. So it's just an old-fashioned home-style potato chip. What makes it a kettle chip? It's actually cooked in a kettle. We cook small batches, short time amounts, about 5 minutes, and each batch is tested for quality and just sorted through. We're not just pushing out chips, we're making a quality product. We cook through about 1,000 to 1,200 pounds of potatoes a day. Out of that, 20% of that becomes a potato chip. It takes a lot of potatoes to make a potato chip. We store our potatoes in the back. We try to keep them roughly between 50 and 55 degrees while they're in there, because when they're underground, that's the temperature that they're growing at. And after it's been weighed in the scale, roughly about 9 to 10 pounds per batch, it'll drop down into the peeler, and the wash will wash the skin off, and it'll wash the dirt off, and then it'll be sorted through. So Ron, who works our sorting table, will go through looking for any green spots or any dark brown spots that we don't want to put into our chips. And you want your chips to look as nice as possible. Then we'll take it up an escalator, and it'll drop down into the slicer where it slices, and it's washed right as it's going through that slicer, so we get a little bit of extra starch out of the potato chips. And then after it's gone through the slicer, it'll go into the fryer for roughly about 5 minutes, depending on the quality of the potatoes. It might be a little shorter or a little bit longer. And as it stirs, the characteristics that you get out of a kettle chip, the curls and the bubbles that you look for when you're eating a kettle chip, those are caused by the agitation that the fingers in our stir system are constantly agitating the chips to make that happen. After it's gone through the 5-minute cooking process, it'll dump out onto a sorting table, and then it'll be salted, and that's where we're a little bit different than the major companies that are cooking mass production of potato chips. They're doing that at the end of the line, where it's just going through a machine that's salting everything. We're hand salting everything. So there's that little bit of quality, making sure that everything's taken care of before it gets moved onto the conveyor belt, and then up to the packaging machine, where it'll be packaged into 8-ounce packages going out to the marketplace. Best way to enjoy a potato chip, I will say, is hot out of the fryer. So if you come into the shop when we're cooking, you can actually buy hot, fresh potato chips. But if not, I'd say with Lawson's Chip Dip.